It's 7:03 on Thursday, October 10th. We're at 48 degrees, more sunshine, breezy, cooler, highs in the mid-60s today. Good morning, I'm John Aaron.
And I'm Michelle Basch. Our top local stories we're following. The Red Cross from our area is sending command vehicles down to Florida to help with the devastation in the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. WTOP's Luke Lukert was there early this morning as they started their journey south.
The two command vehicles leaving the warehouse here in Gaithersburg are heading to Tallahassee for 2 to 3 weeks. Richard Klein is driving one of them down.
It's basically an empty shell.
Meaning it can be outfitted for a variety of purposes for disaster workers once down there. The other is a mobile communications rig. And once down there, Klein and other volunteers will help where it's needed.
We'll be flexible. Could be going out delivering food, could be going out to deliver materials, whatever the job requires, we're there to help.
Are volunteers from far and wide helping rather than Floridian volunteers?
And well, they could be affected themselves. So we'll reach out to other states and other areas and bring folks in to provide that extra help.
In Gaithersburg, Luke Luger, WTOP News.
Happening today, the first and only debate in Maryland's closely watched U.S. Senate race. WTOP's Nick Iannelli asked a political expert what he thinks the candidates need to do.
With recent polls showing Democrat Angela Alsobrooks ahead of Republican Larry Hogan. Alsobrooks likely won't try to stir things up too much during the debate. Ian Anson is a political science professor at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Alsobrooks is going to want to try as much as possible to showcase her vision for politics, to be positive, to stay away from any really strong critiques of Hogan.
For Hogan's strategy,
Larry Hogan in this debate is in a bit of a difficult position.
Anson says Hogan needs to attract moderate Democrats, so he'll likely continue to distance himself from Donald Trump and focus on his record as Maryland's governor, and talk about how his role in the Senate might help Marylanders who are struggling with inflation.
A lot of folks that are concerned about prices tend to gravitate towards Hogan.
Nick Iannelli, WTOP News.
And you can watch the debate live at WTOP.com.
What's next for a D.C. council member charged with accepting thousands of dollars in bribes? WTOP's John Doman updates us on the federal case.
Prosecutors are proposing that jury selection begin in the Ward 8 councilman's bribery trial on July 7th of 2025. They expect to need about 2 weeks to make their case that Trayon White was accepting bribes to help push for the renewal of city contracts. The indictment claims White took at least $35,000 in cash over the summer and was negotiating a 3% kickback on future contract renewals. Prosecutors say the publicity involved in the case also necessitates a special jury panel with a jury questionnaire used because of the publicity of the case and opinions someone might have about White. White's attorney has not yet responded. John Doman, WTOP News.
It is a unique way to try to keep guns out of schools. WTOP's Scott Gelman reports on a move by the Loudoun County School Board.
They're doing it by updating the student handbook. It will now include details on parents' obligations for securely storing guns.
It is just providing information to parents about a public health crisis and offering standard preventative safety measures.
The school system's also planning to send a notification to parents explaining what legal obligation they have to protect kids from guns that aren't stored properly.
The resolution offers parents and families information about a law already in place so they can make the best decisions for their family.
Board members unanimously approved the plan, and some, like Ann Donahue, say it's a step from a familiar strategy.
It is appropriate for the division to put out some of that information to the community, just like we do about the opioid crisis, just like we do about the mental health crisis.
Scott Gelman, WTOP News.
Coming up on WTOP, why you need to be extra careful if you're buying a smartphone through the mail. It's traffic and weather in 30 seconds.